All right, good evening, everybody. Back here with another video for you all. Um, Glad you're liking these videos so far. If you have not watched my statistics video yet, review of our correlation statistics lecture, go ahead and check that out. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Typical. Trying to embrace my inner YouTuber, make a thing of this. But we'll go ahead and get started for you. So today, so there was no video yesterday. That's because all of the lectures yesterday were kind of like an intro. So there wasn't a lot of like board style questions, which Keen is generally board prep. So no cards yesterday. Um, I would just recommend studying that as you would do without Wonky. And hopefully that works. Or you can make your own cards, and I will revisit that topic after or at the end of this video because I made some of my own cards for some of this stuff because there's not a lot of specifics or they have like part of it. So let's just jump right into it. So what we're going to do is not be in boot camp. You do not want to be in boot camp. I was just double checking. You want to be in first aid. Everything you need is in first aid. We're going to go down to psychiatry, start in psychology, go down to ego defenses. Just click the general tab and then make sure that your little arrow is facing down like mine on the sort field. You want to grab these first two. They are duplicates, but I just figured I'm going to pick both of these up right now just because I want to have splitting narrowed down for the final because that is a learning objective on two lectures. I think it's on both of them. I know it's at least in one. So, and then there's this card down here. If you come down to find it, which ego defense is like, it's just a reversal of that card. So 3 cards for splitting. Just figured, why not? And then we're going to go to 6. This is normal child and infant development. And as you can see, my cards look a little different right here. And that is because I made my own cards for this. So don't want to alarm you with that. I will go over what I did. So let's start down in toddler. And the ones I picked up was just this one you should have already had activated, but if you haven't, pick it up right now. And then this one is reproachment. So we were talking about this the other day, I believe. Yeah, with like that study of mothers leaving and the stranger being there. So I picked that one up, and then that kind of goes into this one as well, and this one. So within the preschool, and then this one we should have had as well from last block. And then none in the first 2 sections, but then we'll jump into infant. And infant, you can activate all of it. And then what I would do is I'd come down and deactivate these ones. So like what age can an infant orient to voice? What age can or what yeah. Make sure this card's not activated. This one and this one are not activated, but activate the rest. And I kind of had to do a lot of work here. And so I want to show you what I did. So for example, like by what age does the Moro and palmar reflex normally disappear? I changed this answer. So what you can do is you can just click on that card like I did, come right here, and it'll say like 4 or 6 is what it was, and I just went 4 or 6. And the reason being that is version 11 of Anki is outdated. And so I'm going with what Dr. Warren is saying, Warren is saying as correct, not only for our final, but for board prep. Because I just assume that's the current up-to-date age range or data, or that's what the data supports. So I just changed it. If you want to do that, you can. I just went through all of the preset ones and double checked them. So mainly what I did is I pulled up, I'll show you the table I pulled up from the lecture. This blue one. Oh, is that even gonna move? That doesn't want to load. Okay, it is slide 19 in that lecture. That is the table that I based everything off of and double checked off of, just for the reflexes. Ooh, really. And that's where I made my new cards from for neural development for children. And so that's when I came here and I made these cards Like the parachute reflex, it appears at 6 to 9 months. It disappears when? Never. So, is that all right? Yeah, that's true. Okay. So I will show you how to make that, but then I would recommend everything that is there relating to a primitive reflex, go through, just double check the dates, just so you learn the correct dates. But generally, there's just changing a lot of them from like 4 months or 6 months to 4 to 6 months. And there's just a couple other things, but yeah, go through, follow that table on slide 19 in the pediatric neurodevelopment, and then I'll show you how to make cards, and you can make new cards for the rest of the information from that pediatric lecture, and I'll make 2 new cards for a couple of the psych lectures we had today. So that is it in 6, and then we're going to jump out of that, and we're going to come down to pathology within the psych first aid. So first aid, psych, pathology. They're going to jump down to 16, major depressive disorder. We can break this up because we're not going to go into grief. So you can skip that section, go to major depressive, skip the first 2. And then if you want, you can just activate the rest. But we definitely do not want this one here, and this one here, just because we don't need those yet. We don't need them in the treatments. And then the rest of it, we don't need except for the persistent depressive disorder. Pick up these 3. These would be pretty good to know. And I picked up this one, this dysthymia, because that is persistent depressive disorder, and then the euthymia, which she said in her lecture to write down because that is actually on the test. It's part of the question stem. Euthymia is like happiness. So say, I'm not depressed, I'm in euthymia. You know, so I'm loving it. Prepping for finals. So I picked those 3 up, but then generally it's just this. And there was already some other cards activated, but if you don't have those activated, pick those up. But this is what your screen should look like, hopefully. And then we're going to leave 16, jump down to 24, and you can activate all of it except for this card here that's going over using cognitive behavioral therapy and SSRIs. All of those are good cards. And then we're going to jump down into personalities. So there's personality at 29, grab both those. And then there's 30, that's cluster A. I went through and I went and sifted through everything that was the subsections, which just activate the whole category. It's all good. It all matches what was said in the lecture. Group or cluster B is mostly the same. You can activate the whole thing, but there's treatments that we don't need to know right now. And then this series of 3 cards. The cluster B personality disorders have a genetic association with mood disorders and substance abuse. She didn't say substance abuse. She said like impulse, just like they make impulsive decisions and like they just kind of do stuff on a whim, which can lead to substance abuse, but she didn't say substance abuse. So I didn't want to jump to that conclusion. So just the 2 treatments don't have, and then I would say these ones might not be high yield. And then cluster C, activate all of those in 32. And that is it. There wasn't anything on aging. There is an aging category, I believe in psychology, yeah, and changes in the elderly. So if you find these helpful, you can activate them. It's the 7 under psychology, but I didn't think they were fitting to our aging lecture. And I was just going to revisit some of these lectures, like by rereading them, doing some drawing it out on whiteboards. But let me show you how to make a card. Because I made some of those cards for the pediatrics. So the here, like these ones. So they don't have anything down here. The only thing that's on it is the text with text occlusion and then a tag. But let me show you how you do this. So let me move my little guy over here. We're going to go to notes and we're going to go to, okay, notes, add notes. And then I just drag this over here right in the middle because I want to be able to highlight that. And what I do is I go to on-keying overhaul card style. I'm going to choose that. Tags. And I just hover my mouse over this bottom right corner and you just copy it. So unfortunately, on my computer, I can't just hover over that and copy it. So I have to type it out. So just take me a moment. Actually, yeah, I already did that from the last time. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. So you literally just type it out like that. You just type it out. So hashtag AK underscore step one underscore V11, 2:, hashtag first aid, two colons. And the 2:, is a big thing. So it's just hitting your 2:, twice in a row. That's a big thing for like the text occlusion and stuff. So just doing that. And then the 2 cards I'm going to make, I'm going to make the one on the psychological disorder. So I'm going to write the definition: a set of behavioral, emotional, and cognitive symptoms that significantly distressing and disabling in terms of social functioning, work endeavors, and other aspects of life. And the reason I decided to make my cards this time on a whim is because for the pediatrics, especially, it's a very specific detail she wants you to know. So like an age range of this reflex, and then I'm just going to read the slides and quiz myself with some other people on what the reflex is. And then get the age range or the like age when it presents. So I didn't make cards for the ones that present at birth, but the ones that don't present at birth, I did make cards for. So I'm just going to know that the rest happen at birth, and then just knowing when they disappear. So that way you are hitting those growth milestones that she was talking about. But then like a couple of these other definitions I'm just going to add them in, one to show you, and two, because they're very specific and they are a clear learning objective. So I figured, why not? So this is psychological disorder. And then as you can see, you're doing that the parentheses. I don't know what that key is called, but it's where it's like right below your equal sign on most computers, I think. So this is the way you want to structure it. So 2 of those, C1 as close one with the on-keying overhaul style, 2:, psychological disorder, and then you just hit add. And then if you want to add another card, your tag will stay. And then you can just make new text. So I'm just going to do one more. I'm going to do what is personality. So I'm going to do like schema plus I'm not very good at making cards. I'm just trying to read the slide. So you can do something like personality is a schema, sum of total of all life experiences. Yeah, okay, so the way a person views, understands, and relates to the outside world, as well as how you see yourself. And this is influenced by your schema. And then you're going to do 2 of those, C1, double colon, and I'm going to type out personality, and then double those, and then hit add, and then you hit X, and then you just got to refresh the page by clicking elsewhere, and then it'll be there. So if I were to scroll down, they would be somewhere in this big long deck, like right here. There you go, right at the bottom. So that'll pop up in my daily rotation now. And that was that. So I didn't make a lot of cards. I just made like maybe what, 50, I think 15. And it took me like maybe 5 minutes because I'm just copying it out. So you literally just notes, add notes, on-keying overhaul, keep this in the on-keying deck, type out whatever you want. You can also do just a basic style, and that is just your front and your back. Simple if you want to do it that way. And the tag is just wherever you want to throw it. You don't have to put a tag on it as long as it's in your deck. It'll start activated as soon as you make it. So that is how you do that. And that is the video for you all. So not too many cards today. I hope starting is going well for you. And yeah, best of luck. Studies, finals are coming up. So happy studying.